Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for November 16th through the 22nd, 2020. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome you here, especially our recent subscribers, as well as those of you who may be watching for the first time, and as always, everyone who has been supporting the channel throughout the years. I'd just like to bring to your attention that if you haven't been aware of this, especially for people who are new to my channel, just some of the other content that has been posted. Number one, the angel scope, the monthly angel scopes, which cover all 12 zodiac signs. So there are 12 readings for each zodiac sign. They've been posted on my channel here on YouTube. You can also find it on my Facebook channel, page rather, which you can go to the link below this video in the description area. Also, daily card messages that I write here on YouTube as well as on my Facebook page, so that you can get they're published in one of those places. I think also Twitter as well. That link is below. And then finally, just to make you aware that for the month of November, my special offer for an angel reading, my $77 half-hour reading has been offered for 1 full hour since the pandemic and continues in this month. So if you'd like to take advantage of that reading special offer, you would go to my channel, theangelschool.com. On the services page, you would select the half-hour reading as is, and within 24 hours, I will send you a confirmation email on the first business day of the week, okay? So just keep in mind, if you do it over the weekend, that Monday would be when you would hear from me. Otherwise, during the week, it's within 24 hours. And also be aware that my schedule hours are Eastern Standard Time now, 12 noon to 6 p.m. So if you're in a place like Japan, Australia, what might work for you is a Friday, which might be a weekend, so that you could manage the schedule. I forget that time difference, but it would probably put you early on a Saturday morning. But I would still be working my office hours for Monday through Friday. So that kind of works out. We discovered with one client I had recently. Okay, so let's take a deep breath and really connect in with your heart space, and really set an intention to connect with your I am presence. And just let everything that's on your mind, just let it roll away, as if a morning dew, just letting that just roll away. And being aware of anything that your angels and your higher self wishes to bring to your attention at this time. And they keep showing me a very thin tree. Now, I almost get a feeling too that it's probably a new tree, so that it's sort of, so that may, because the trunk of it is very thin. And at first, I was thinking to myself, okay, oops, we're allowing some things to kind of get in our way. But I see that some kind of circle rock formation has been placed around the base of the tree. And I'm seeing sort of animals like badger and lizard sort of hovering around this tree. So this new tree sort of reminds me of a tarot card I saw once with the Ace of Wands, where this new tree had been planted, and this magical energy around it is almost like someone has placed some kind of medicine wheel or cast a circle around the tree. And so there is this feeling of new energy. And I know that we're on the heels of a new moon cycle. And so this gives us a sense that this may be looking at new opportunities and setting new intentions and being aware of the magic that's inherent in every fiber of our physical world and our the physical reality of our imagination. That is to say, that all the seeds come from the imagination that is constantly feeding our reality, our perception of the physical world. And the imagination is such a powerful dynamic because it allows us to transform, to see unlimited possibilities for a particular situation, a thing, a person. We have this incredible ability that we don't rely on as frequently as we should. It's almost that it's a tool of necessity. The ability to look at something and transform it with your own imagination. This is what it means that you create your own reality. Of course, we have to make sure that we're creating a reality of love and not one that might, out of selfishness or greed, create harm for others or cause others to suffer unnecessarily. It's also this understanding of giving back, but also taking from the earth and the universe, but also giving back in proportion to that. And that it always is offering us well-being and health and prosperity and abundance. And our imaginings, our inner magician should be doing likewise, right? So it's a beautiful, and also that vision also speaks of working more in harmony with nature, because we really do not think about nature and all of the creatures of nature that are our brothers and sisters too. And so we have to think about our inner magician, that whatever it is that we are desiring and whatever we're imagining also curates their safety and the care and well-being of our planet. So they want you to pay attention. I just said the word oxygen, but earlier I said the word messages. So they want you to pay attention to the messages that are coming through. That it feels like in the soil of your imagination, many seeds will be erupting. And also messages are being offered. And those messages are also a part of the potency of the seeds that your imagination will proliferate within you. And so be aware of this co-creative dynamic that is unfolding between what the divine is offering as messages or downloads or energy, support, miracles around those seeds that are emerging from the soul of your own mind and all that you've lived and experienced, in not only this lifetime and lifetimes before, and your own free will and desire to want to unearth new facets of yourself, to express new opportunities, and to do that all as a mission of love. And so be very attentive, be very aware, and be intentional in what you are fashioning into reality, and go really deep within. And so in this time, you can feel sort of a rush of energy coming, and you'll want so much to do so many things, and then quote unquote reality kind of hits you, and it kind of causes you to step it all back, right? And you start thinking about your limitations when all this energy is making you feel unlimited, powerful, beyond your imagination. And this is something that occurs. This is our reality. This is our human experience when all the passions and the emotions bubble up, and it's uplifting us from some challenge. But that challenge, that pain, that suffering is what lit the fire for this to arise. And so it's real. It's just as real as your pain that you believe is creating this for you. But it deserves your attention. It really deserves your attention. And so they keep writing the word oxygen. And what I'm getting from that is to really breathe. Because what that breath will do is help you to process, synthesize the seeds of your imagination. It will help keep your mind clear. It's like a filter to continue to breathe in the oxygen so that this fresh insight, fresh information, this dynamic of freshness keeps clearing and offering clarity and clear communication between the divine and yourself. And so that you, in time, the plan will become, or the vision will become even more clear. The steps, your actions that you can take will become clearer. Your purpose will become clearer. So although you'll feel this rush, don't be in a rush. Take your time to breathe. Feel the energy. Be with the experience. Allow yourself to feel the joy, to be inspired, be uplifted. Really participate in this with as much of your senses as you can. And being creative is really translating all of that creativity into sensation, into physicalness, right? So give yourself something to do each day. It doesn't have to be everything at once, but pieces of it so that you're always being, your sensualness and your physicalness is always being engaged, stimulated by your passions. And the thing that's also important is to remember people often want things but they don't know why they want them. And so that often will cause delays in receiving them. It'll also often create a dissatisfaction when you do manifest something and you feel yourself constantly just wanting something more. Because the thing is that we never think about that we consume a lot of things, but we never think about the honoring the responsibilities and the tasks that will come along with them. So it's so interesting, I've been fighting doing my laundry for 2 weeks. I'd done half of it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, okay. And I always think about it's like a task, but these are things that I wanted. And, because of the pandemic and putting on a little weight, can't wear most of the things I have. So the things that I'm washing are things that I don't really, do nothing for me. They're gym clothes. And it's like, but the thing is that in that moment I had this realization, tasks are part of our lives. And the task are the responsibilities that we take on when we receive all of these things that we wanted. And so the thing is that what I had a realization of is wanting for the sake of wanting. Just, most of us are just really consumers, and we act as if this is something to be proud of. But it's just as anything, it's like an addiction. It's not healthy. And if we really thought about what we wanted and why we wanted it. So the example I've been giving is when I was teaching and I wanted a smart board. I got the smart board. But the reason I wanted the smart board was because I was going to be able to offer my students, a whole new musical experience where I could show live concerts and different types of concerts, and I could make connections with, cultural events going on in the world or traditions that related to that music. This, my intention for wanting the smart board was to inspire. And it was a clear intention. And it kept me so motivated that I knew that the specialist teachers would be the last person on the list and probably would not regret one at all because of the funding. But because I was so passionate and so inspired, and I knew that my goal was to inspire that my classroom, my students, and myself, I didn't let up. I didn't get discouraged, not once. And in the end, I got the board. And when I got it, it did everything I wanted it to do. My inspiration was sustainable. Think about other things that we have. And it does not, it lays there. It's forgotten. And then it becomes this responsibility, this huge task of maintaining it, whether it's cleaning it or organizing it or keeping it structured in some way so that it doesn't overwhelm your space or overwhelm you. And if that is the case, those things were done without a clear intention. And it's the reason why some things don't come into our space, because they are not really necessary, or they don't come because we just don't have a clear intention that allows us to stay engaged and with that new energy that's coming through. And then when you get it, it teeters, it just sort of goes away, the whole excitement, and it becomes something you store. So think about this as you're thinking around this new moon energy and new possibilities and what you desire. There has to be an emotional connection in your sort of, when I say wizardry, right? You have to have emotion behind an outcome. but that emotion is made up of pure intentions, that enlivens one's life, enhances your life. And the thing about it here's the piece that I was told, is that whatever it is that you desire should help you to express who you are, to express yourself on the most authentic level of awareness and beingness. So if it doesn't fulfill that goal, then you're going to have some kind of struggle, whether you get it or not. If you get it, you're going to struggle with it. If you don't get it, that's going to be a struggle that you live with. And your purpose is to be happy. And so you must find an emotional connection for something that you want to manifest, or it will be uneventful, whether it's received or not. And I feel like there's one more piece of this that I'm wanting to get across. I don't know if I'll remember, but maybe I'll remember later. But just be aware of this as you're setting new intentions around this time, and at any time in your life. Make sure that this has an emotional value to you, something that feeds your spirit and will feed others. Because I've noticed that in those times, I'm fearless. I don't even think about my limitations or my inadequacies, or I'm rarely discouraged. If anything, I'm quite determined. And these are very rare opportunities because, we don't often think about our ability to contribute, but that contribution is not just for others, but for yourself as well. It has to be something emotionally that you're getting out of it, because this is what feeds the soul, your happiness and emotional well-being. All right, so let's take a look at the Archangel cards. There was so many of them as I was shuffling, they kept falling out. All right, and so Archangel Raphael, Angel Therapy card. Okay, and this says, give all of your worries and cares to the angels and allow us to take your burden. Okay, so, right now, there's a lot of things that sort of weighing us down, and there are a lot of things that are concerning that are going on right now. And just know that the universe is always managing. The laws of the universe manage the balance of the universe. So even though it seems though we're tipping the scales into catastrophe, the universe is holding that perfect balance and adjusting it. And what it's doing is we're experiencing the catastrophe in order for us to be aware that the balance that we seek is somewhere else from where we are, and that we need, whatever it is that we've been doing, that we need to backtrack. We need to structure our mindset, come up with a new plan, focus in a different way that is healthy. And that will bring everything back. So there's nothing that we can't come back from. And that's what I mean by the universe is always holding the balance. The universal laws are always holding that perfect balance. So if you are in a point in your life where you're feeling like, you're headed towards some kind of, I just want to use, but okay, disaster, remember the ego really overshoots the situation, but use this information, emotional information, to help you to set a new plan, to set a new course of action. And you can set that plan into motion by focusing on activities of light. That is to say, that which is loving. If you may feel like you can't contribute a lot and you're worried, but any act of love will uplift you and uplift others, and will reveal to you the truth that I'm speaking of, which is that you are powerful no matter what your circumstances reveal. You are still infinitely more powerful than what you're experiencing. If it were not true, you would not notice that your circumstances were unsatisfactory to you. That is the whole point of the universe being a creation of contrast, so that we can see. We only had hot, we would never think of any other temperature degree. We wouldn't question it. We wouldn't, and that would be with so many things. Without its opposite, there would not be the qualities, the other qualities would not exist for us. So with this, and with talking about work and manifestation work, it's all about that when we're stuck in a rut, when it feels bad and raw and painful, we're stuck in a rut. And what we're not seeing are all the other degrees. The universe is full of contrasts, but you only see this point of view. When you're happy, right? You see wider perspectives. You see, all kinds of options. But when we're down and out, we only see one. And that is not real. It can't be real over here that there are options, but over here there aren't. And so the magic of manifestation is opening your mind to all the possibilities, and using this place where you're stuck in a rut to start asking questions. What am I not seeing? To start thinking about what it is that you really desire. Because when we usually over here in that rut, we are lacking something. And then a lot of times we want a lot of things. We see a lot of things that other people have, but we don't want them just because they have them. We want things because they fulfill us in some way. They allow us to be who we truly are. They allow us to express our authenticity. And we don't, and here's the other piece that I have forgotten is coming now. Truly, you want to be happy, but you didn't really come here to ask for things to be easy. Because in non-physical world, you could snap your fingers or think it and it would be. But what you came here to do is to feel, to be a part of it physically, to have it come through you, to come out of you, to work through you, to shape you, to help you know more than what you've known from all your other lifetime experiences. And the universe is studying you and every one of us in the same way. And everything is expanding. Love is expanding. Enlightenment is expanding because of what you experience here. That's why Abraham says this is the leading edge of creation. So you're never stuck. You're something that you're not seeing is trying to forge its way through something new and more exciting. And if you start asking the right questions, instead of saying, why me? Why not me? What is it that I'm capable of? What's possible? So call upon your angels, Archangel Raphael, who is the Archangel of Healing, so to help you to heal if there's, some depression or emotional or anything, help you to heal your mindset. He has been known to walk with travelers on journeys, so ask him to encourage you on this journey towards a very powerful and new transformation for you. And he's showing me a gateway that will open for you when you ask. But don't fill your head with doubts. Don't focus on your limitations. Focus on what's unlimited. Focus on the infinite possibilities. Better way to say that. Okay. Wow. So we just keep getting this card. And boy, we shuffle. So this is really just telling us, this card is stalking us, right? This card is telling us, and this is really the crux of what I've been talking about, and talking about the mindset and the manifestation, is that you see all the swords are pointing at her. So it's like, this is what we do to ourselves. We stack all the cards against us when we're down and out. That's what we do. We judge, we blame ourselves. We blame other people, and that still stacks the cards against us, because that's transferring power. That's not acknowledging that I'm powerful within. No, why me? Why not me? Turn it around. That victimhood and that feeling of defeat, that someone else has taken something from you, it keeps us divided. It keeps us from loving one another. And it keeps us from knowing that we are loved and that we're part of this enormous picture of love and support. And so this card is really, I feel like it's telling you to look at what's interfering with your ability to access the new possibilities and the magical new moon energy. I'm seeing the word inflammation. And so there's something inflaming this energy of this card for you. And one might say simply, you need to forgive. You've heard me say many times that the past, every day that the past becomes more of the past, the memories are never retained accurately. Memories fade and they morph. And you'll get 20 years down the road, as I told you once, and think to yourself, why was I, you'll be confronting the person, be in front of the person, and you'll say, why did I feel that way? Because your ego is always projecting the illusions, its pain and suffering, and it keeps telling, it's like the ego has a story, a way of telling a story. And so no matter how happy you are, how sad you are, that is what keeps coloring it. And that's what keeps people from feeling like they're stuck under the gun. Okay? So just be aware of that. All right, let's look at the card for the middle of the week. Wow. So we have the Tower. And it's like, okay, maybe it's something it feels like this energy is going to break up, that these walls that you use to keep you feeling separate and isolated and alone and stuck in this rut is going to break away. Now that could be even more raw, painful energy, or it could just be this really enormous clearing, like relief, surrender. And that's going to be up to you. And just noticing the water here, what I'm really feeling is to acknowledge your emotions. And I don't mean like, I'm saying, scream, although that might be useful. But what I'm also getting a sense of is be aware of the emotions you're having. And what kind of information that's going through your mind? And be aware to the divine guidance. So really call on your angels in that moment to enlighten you. Now, because you are leading edge creation, what you're going through, what the angels will do is give you that power of source light, the light of God, the grace of God. And that support will help you see your reality for the first time, and the universe will be seeing it through you for the first time. And that's when the enlightenment will become like a spiritual food for humanity collectively. Because remember, we're all a part of a network of oneness. So this is why we all are accessing this collective consciousness of humanity. And then it will feed and nourish the heavens. And it will be sent out as a wave of enormous cosmic love. So imagine that the time that we're in and the chaos that we're seeing, and it all feels like a tower, what is truly happening is an emotional healing. I mean, look at what everything that's dropping from the tower is dropping into that water. So this is a time of high intensity of emotions. So you got to be aware that people, got to be flipping out and, acting like they're insane. But it's all free expression. It's all release, emotional release is what you're seeing. And the things that because when you're accused, you are repressing, you are suppressing. And that is the sort of the cause behind the depression. And what's going on right now, chaos is a part of change. Chaos is not evil. It is healing. It's on the path towards a resolution. So don't fight it, but embrace yours. Okay, and here then we have this King of Wands. And what I like about this, almost like a story, especially since we started off in my vision with something like an Ace of Wands, is that we're coming back to this Wands energy. And our king is looking at all of this, and he's the visionary. He's fire. He's passion. He's authority, right? And what he's doing is just sort of looking at this, holding the big picture. He's been enlightened and inspired by all that has happened. He's seeing his purpose and what this moment was for and what we're all giving birth to. And so there is an opportunity for all of us to see in this week what purpose we're really giving birth to, collectively and individually, in nations, in communities. There's a lot of shifting and healing that's happening right now. And it all has to do with each one of us. If we could stop blaming ourselves and stop blaming others and start loving and healing and allowing the walls to crumble. I've said before, you have to die with these illusions. You have to die with your pain in order for it to transmute into something else. Let yourself die with that. Don't blame yourself and don't blame anybody else, but just let that emotion, just die with it. Like a TV fading out. All right? Like they used to do in the old days. So the thing that this card also tells me is that you will not be defeated by anything in this week. You will have complete dominion. You will be empowered. You will rise to the occasion. You will champion what unfolds in this week. So don't be discouraged by what occurs, but that you will be enlivened, and it's like we see him as a spiritual teacher, this advocate, this person who sort of motivates, like a spiritual teacher. So you will truly be enlightened. All right, let's take a look at the card I pulled from the bottom of the deck. and it's the Nine of Cups. And this is usually the cup of emotional fulfillment. And the reason why this card is also associated with wishes coming true, because as I said in the beginning, when it comes to manifestation, emotional fulfillment is the goal. When you have emotional fulfillment, wishes automatically come true. What you need and deserve comes true. The things that are unexpected occur and unfold for you. So she's just got her hands up and she's just allowing. She's not resisting, but she's embracing for the impact. She's embracing for the impact of what's possible. As she just allows herself to experience the emotional fulfillment of what it is that she desires. So really connect into what it is that you truly desire. You want to be happy. In what way do you desire to be happy? Without talking about the things. Because the things are the result of you knowing more clearly each day. So as a part of your practice, each day as an activity of light, focus on the emotional value of your project, your hobby, your long-term goal or plans. You know, if you're moving, you want to move into a new house, focus on the emotional content, the emotional fulfillment that you wish to experience. See yourself in that home feeling this emotional fulfillment and focusing on the things that you want, that specifically you know that you're going to make great use of. And this helps us to stop thinking about just having a bunch of stuff because we see everybody else has it. And we put the things in our lives or bring those things into our lives that we know that we're going to be able to use. Like I knew how I was going to use that smartboard. I knew every detail. And and it's just weird to remember this in this week because I had forgotten this myself. I didn't know what I was doing when it was happening. It was the same thing when I went to college. I got into all the colleges. I didn't even think about the enormous amount of money coming from, a single parent, and couldn't afford that at all. It was going to be on me. But I didn't think about that. I knew that singing and going to music, and I had, in high school, I was learning, going to magnet school, and it made me feel great, Though I just kept imagining that fulfillment over and over again. And I just went to said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I've not had that many of those moments, which I admit is sad. But now it's like the formula in this week, I had this epiphany about this. And I hope it helps you, okay? To really rethink. And a lot of things, and rethink, there's a lot of things that are in your world that are not making you happy. You either need to make a new connection with them. I just saw the word impression. Have a new impression of something so that you rediscover what the usefulness in it, even if you weren't thinking of it that way. See, can you find a usefulness for these things that you already have? It'll be like manifesting all over again. But the thing is, the things will actually be there because, see, that is the purpose of manifestation. It allows you to express who you are. It has usefulness and value to your soul, like like the magician's tools. Everything there are many elements to things and many ways you can use them. If they don't have use, then gift them away and get them out of your line of view so that they're not sitting there making you feel like, oh my God, I gotta clean that, and that lowers us when we see things as a burden. It lowers our manifestation abilities. So if you can't find a purpose for it, repurpose it for yourself, and if you can't find one, trash it, gift it, give it away to somebody, and make sure that that they can use it. They have a purpose for it, because you know why? It'll make you feel very good and satisfied when you do give it away, because the focus would have been on not, oh, I wish I had that because I saw it at somebody else's house, now I want it. No, you didn't have a use for it. And when you give it away, you know that that person has a use for it, that has emotional value to them, that's going to bring emotional fulfillment. And that's what you'll remember. And that'll curve you be continuing to be a consumer, because consumerism is not a good term. It's about greed. It's about indulging lust and all kinds of and it's an addiction. So make sure that you're not rewarding yourself for being a consumer. Cringe when the media calls you a consumer. Don't buy into that. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And I hope that this work on manifestation blesses you, enlivens your heart, and enlightens your mind and your spirit, and helps you to shift that rut of understanding that you have. God bless you.